So this is a little video on how to think college, and it's for students who are in the ACES program who really want that college experience. Okay, so conducting a college search, questions to ask college programs. So we're going to read through this, we're going to look at all the graphics to understand it, and if you want to go to college, you got to kind of stay with this. Okay, conducting a college search is a daunting or scary task for every family and every potential college student. All students need to think about factors such as the size of the college, its location, and whether or not to live on campus or at home. See Figure 1. So now we're going to go over here. This is Figure 1, Sample College Features. You talk about the size, small, medium, large, program length, the cost of it. Many students who are in the ACES program can get their education paid for free. Academics, housing. Do you want to live on campus and have that experience? Location. So you start by getting a list of basic college features that are important to you. For students with intellectual disability or ID, there are some additional aspects to consider beyond the details you can learn in Think College Search. This resource provides questions suggested by parents and students who have been through the college search process. These questions may be answered by closely reviewing the college program websites, attending an open house, or calling the program director. A great place to identify possible options is Think College Search, a searchable database of college programs on the Think College website. There you will find basic information on over 270 colleges for students with intellectual disability. And we'll learn more about that on page 2. So let's look over here and see what this is telling us. This guide shares questions about important aspects of the college program and are offered to help students and families learn as much as they can about program operations so they can make an informed choice about which college is best for them. Several questions are suggested in each of the 10 areas below. So there's the admission process, and that's, applying to a college and seeing if they will accept you. There's the fees, tuition, and financial aid. Fees are what it costs, and as I mentioned earlier, with students with intellectual disability, it may be free. What type of program do they have? Is it inclusion with the campus community? In other words, do the classes take place at the same time in the same classes as the other kids who are going to school? Do you get to live on campus and learn what that's like? Academics. What could you study in college? Housing. Would you want to live on campus? Different supports that are available. Program administration. These are the people who are there to help guide through the whole process. Communication with parents, career development, and program outcomes. Okay, so this is page 1. Now I'm going to scroll down to page 2. Use Think College Search to create a list of colleges that offer what you want. Think College Search is an online listing of post-secondary education programs. Post-secondary just means post after secondary high school. So it means after high school. Programs for students with ID that are affiliated with an accredited institute of higher education. Accredited just means that it's a real college program. Okay? So you have advanced search filters. So when we get into this page, you can search by program, keyword, location, program features. You can filter by disability, type of school, and length of program. So there's a bunch of things that you can do within this. Up-to-date listings of over 272 college programs. There's more that are added every day, and this was as of June 2019. You can create a list of your favorites. So once you're in there and you decide, hey, I want to stay within New York, you click in there and you start to see the colleges available. You can create your own list of favorites by clicking on the heart. So the heart here symbolizes favorites. And remember, we were talking about symbolism earlier in the year. That's what this is, exactly what this is for. Comprehensive. Find detailed program information, including deadlines, which are important, acceptance rates, career development activities, and more. And so that's where this stuff is. The create favorites is down here when you get on the page. And the quick look, find basic information. There's a quick look with a magnifying glass about fast information with a click of a button. Then there's downloadable data, okay? And so when you get in there and you start to see these lists, it's generated and can be emailed and downloaded as an Excel spreadsheet. A spreadsheet just to let you see a lot of information, both left and right and up and down. And it compares colleges. It compares between program length, housing availability, whether it accepts out-of-state students or not, financial aid, and application, due dates, and costs, okay? So these are the first 2 pages of the brochure. Right now, we're going to look at admission. Admission requirements and deadlines for these programs vary widely. That means they're different depending on the college. So be sure to note these as you review the program information. How many students apply each year? How many are accepted? How many students are you interviewing? These are questions to ask admission. Do you accept out-of-state students? Do you have any out-of-state students currently? What are your admission criteria? Criteria just means what does one have to do in order to be admitted? Do you have to, some colleges are all female, so that would be a criteria. Some are mixed gender, so that's what criteria would mean. What testing is required, if any? If you have ID, you don't have to take the SAT or the ACT. You do have to know how to behave properly within this type of an environment, but otherwise you can go. Are students who are under guardianship accepted? Does that means are students who need support by another adult accepted? What are the timelines or deadlines for the process, for this application process, and when will students be notified of the admission decision? And what do you suggest admitted students do over the summer to prepare for a successful transition to campus life in the fall? So you want to be preparing yourself. If you get accepted, you're going to have to transition from, hey, I'm just a high school student who's doing summer, to I'm almost a college student, I need to prepare myself. And these are some other questions that you might have. So let's move on. This is regarding fees, tuition, and financial aid. So if college programs become approved, comprehensive transition program, students have access to federal student aid, even if they don't have a regular high school diploma and are not seeking a degree. So look for this icon in College Search to find programs that offer access to financial student aid. Now, student aid is something that you have to pay back, and you pay it back over time. But there are also other scholarship programs and things that you would not have to pay back. So you have to be very clear when you're asking. So here are some questions. What is the total cost to attend your program per year? Is your program an approved CTP or comprehensive transition program and able to offer access to federal student aid for your students? How do students pay to attend? Do students use vocational rehabilitation funds? So that means Access VR, if you've ever heard about that. That is a vocational rehabilitation support system, and they have money available for students who want to go on to college. Do community agencies offer funds, or personal funds, meaning money that you guys have yourselves? Federal financial aid, scholarships, or other resources? So these are all questions you would ask. If a student is accepted, when would payment be due? Is there a payment plan available? And my questions regarding tuitions, fees, and financial aid. So those are additional questions you might have. So now we're moving on to inclusion with the campus community. This is really important. Although students may enter these programs through an alternate admission process, meaning a different type of process, you're not taking the SAT or the ACT, which kids who are going to college often do. Once on campus, they should have a very typical experience. So, aside from program faculty and staff, who is your program's biggest advocate on campus? In other words, who's the person that if I have any questions, I'm going to go to? What are some campus activities that your students have participated in? Are Greek life, intramural or club sports, and other student activities open to students in your program? Greek life just means, can you join a sorority or a fraternity? And this is where you meet a lot of people for life that become your friends for life. Intramural or sports programs are just like the same things that you would have in high school, right? Are there any campus services or activities that students in the program are not allowed to access? So you want to know if there's something you can't do, because you may not want to go there if that's the case. How, if at all, is your program included in the university's overall diversity and inclusion efforts? And you may want to find out, are there a lot of people of color? Are there people whose gender orientation is questioning, or who want to call themselves they or them? How important is full inclusion to your program? And how do you support students to be fully included in college life? Do the students participate in a typical college graduation? And are students in your program considered enrolled students in the university? In other words, do they have alumni benefits? Alumni meaning after you graduate. Some schools offer benefits when you complete a certificate program, and you can get certain things. And then any other questions that you might have. And so all along, when you ask these questions, you're going to be taking notes and writing the answers down. Academics. Participation in typical college courses should be a key element of any inclusive college program. So again, a bunch of questions. So I'm going to do a video later on about this, the academics and housing, right? Even at residential colleges, housing may not yet be available for students in these programs. So they're saying that not every college is going to have housing available for students with intellectual disability, but that's okay. You could go and, go to college during the day and stay at your own home at night, okay? It does not limit your opportunities. So housing is something else we'll go over. And then supports. What are the types of support and hours of availability that the program offers? So again, you would ask these questions, okay? Program administration. Knowing what kinds of staff the program employs can help you assess the priorities of the program as well as the level and kinds of support the student can expect. So this is when you get a little further along and you want to really find out more. You really want to talk about and find out what kind of programs they offer within the college life. Communication with parents. Colleges need to follow the requirements of the Family Educational Rights and Privacy, or FERPA Act. It's a federal law that protects the privacy of student education records. So this is something that you may have to ask how you can allow your family members access to that information, or you may decide that you don't want them to have access to that information. So these are things that you would ask. Now, career development and program outcomes. These are very important. Data show that paid work in college leads to better employment outcomes after college. So how can you develop a career path for yourself at this college? These are some of the questions you would ask. And what are the outcomes? College programs for students with ID or intellectual disability, nationally are reporting close to 70% employment rate for graduates 1 year after graduation. So that's great to know. This is a newer program. It has not been around for a very long time. And so we're seeing improvement in the employment rates of students with ID when they go into the college programs. So again, more questions you would ask. And this is kind of the last page here. And unfortunately, let me move this down if I can a little bit so you can see it. It was kind of going off the page. This just sums everything together. Explore these additional resources. Explore these additional resources on the Think College website to get more information about the college search process. So you can go to Families Think College, Family Resources, Innovation Exchange, and then there are other links. Okay, so I hope that this was helpful. I want you guys to start to research. Those of you that really want to go on to college, really start to research. And then on the brochure, there are other links down there. We'll dig in deeper in other videos.